Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. This is Entertainment Thursday. This segment is Future Voices, where we give young people a chance to contribute to matters of national interest. Now, today we are going to talk about activism, aspirations, and accountability in the whole sphere of youth and governance, because the youth of late have been very vocal when it comes to matters democracy, when it comes to matters accountability, matters economy, and the direction in which the country is going to take. So that is the direction we are taking this morning. At in studio, I'm joined by Wakili Jacob Omondi, who is a lawyer and political strategist. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Good morning to everyone who is watching at this moment, and we say welcome to the show.
And also I'm joined by Kilonzo Mbuvi, who is a governance and political expert. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Asante sana, good morning.
You are not new to Jerusalem.
Yes, this is home.
Unaendeleaje?
Kabisa mzuri sana.
Before we even get into the conversation, there's something I maybe I would want to get from you, and this is from completely your perspectives. 3 years on, how do you think the government has done since inauguration in 2022? Let me start with you, Akili.
To be fair, I think that this government got into power with when there were a lot of challenges, and then 1 year into the office, there were a lot of intense activities by the then Azimio coalition. And I think some of which pushed the government to be where they are, including the agency movements that happened again after another 1 year, that is probably by last year. Yeah, they are trying, but there's need to put more efforts to ensure that things are done.
Yes. Kilonzo, what is your take?
Things start wrong. And they will end wrong. So it is all about how they started and how they came to power, with a lot of chant for, we will do this, we will do that. You know, 3 years down the line, we have been doing a lot of assessment on how this government has been performing since 2024 and in a lot of activities of 2025. And if I can give them a mark between 1 to 10, I would give them maybe 2, because 98% of the things that they say they will do, they have been doing completely opposite. They have been, you know, living large. They have been spending. In fact, if I can just say, within 3 years, this government has borrowed 3.5 trillion, which is way too beyond, you know, what they had promised. They had said that we will not do a lot of borrowing, we will not go into a lot of, you know, excessive use, expenditure and all that. But they are doing exactly opposite what they said. So 3 years down the line,
is there a room for improvement?
Yes, but we have another time to meet with them in 2027, just to remind them that you guys, you promised a lot of things, but you did not do most of them. There is a room for improvement, but I don't think they can do so much in 2 years.
But there's still something that can be
some
done.
time. There's still room for improvement.
Let's get into today's matter, and we're talking about activism, aspirations, and accountability that the youth keep on demanding every now and then. Wakili, from your own perspective, do you think the youth have played a role in shaping how people view governance and accountability in the country?
For sure they have, and I think that with all honesty, last year was the epic of youth, you know, movement, which again, you remember, led to the withdrawal of the finance bill. It also led to the reconstruction of the cabinet, and I still believe that we have a lot to do as a young people, so that we can redefine and shape this country for the future generation. You know, for a long time we've been taken for granted by those who've been in authority. And I would want to just urge the young people that let us come out, get into these structures, because I always say that you cannot achieve a lot when you are just on the street. We also need to get into these political structures and push from within, because when you are within a political structure, then you are now able to put more effort and maybe bring tangible changes within those spaces. Because when you are just on the street without a structure, then it is very easy for the government or for different forces to dismantle your organization or your movement. So I really think that it is high time that as the young people we get into these political spaces, the political parties, and fight from within. Take those leadership roles within the political party structures, and also agitate for the greater good of this nation. I think we did a lot in the last 2 years, which is very commendable. But just like my brother said, that the government needs to do a lot, and they cannot do a lot if we don't push them.
Yes.
So we the young people, we still hold the card to ensure that things are done right in this country.
Kilonzo, kuna kitu wakili amesema, it's about getting the political structures to start making changes from within those political structures. Question, is it about getting into those political structure, and is there a danger that you will be absorbed by the ideals that you may not wholly or 100% be aligned to?
Let me first say that the idea of activism in every successful democracy, the bloodline of that success is very much tied into activism. And maybe I take you back to the time of Bible.
Yes.
Those times, Moses, when there was oppression, they were under Pharaoh in Egypt. They needed to, break so that they can also get freedom. So for us, as a youth of this country, we have achieved a lot through activism, which is very well, provided for the COK of 2010, the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Yes.
It is very well provided inside there on freedom of expression, freedom of assembly and all those things. So when you look at the journey of Kenya since 1963 to date, a lot has been done and achieved by activism. So therefore, like the brother said, it is good to, yes, get into those spaces, but also we must be very careful with what we clearly need to see, what we clearly need to achieve. We need to get into those spaces, into the leadership of this country, so that we get our education rights well. We get our health system working. We get every sector of the society working for the mwananchi, working for the common citizen, because that's where the challenge is. We collect a lot of money in the country, there's a lot of resources in this country, but they are controlled by a few of us. So we need to get, yes, inside there, but be very careful not to be compromised into the culture of corruption, not to be compromised and be introduced into the culture of the political class, staying there, being comfortable there in their own space. Once they get there, they were good people. Mike was a good person before. He came to us, he wanted to be an MP.
Yes.
Once I get into that office, I'm going to do that road. Once I get to that office, I'll make sure that this and this is done. But once you get there, now you're introduced into another culture of corruption, into another culture of kickbacks. When will Kilonzo get that road? When will that boy in the village know that there is Wi-Fi, and CBC right now requires Wi-Fi? When will that service get to the village?
Yeah.
So for me is, yes, we get into those spaces, but again, we must get into those spaces very clear that we need to achieve, a ABCD for the country.
Indeed. There's that aspect of conformity, Wakili. But then again, if, for instance, what are the dangers of forming a new political party for young people vis-a-vis getting into an already existing one? Where do the chance lie, if at all, let's say they want to get into those leadership positions?
You see why it's the taking the path of getting into already existing political party is a little bit faster and easier than registering a political party. You see, the political heavyweights, the political class, have made it very difficult for somebody to register a political party. When you start the process of registering a political party, for you just to get a provisional certificate, leave alone full registration, it will be a hell of work. Actually, I can tell you, because I've tried this, you know, last year.
Yes.
I can tell you that between 2022 to now, to this date that we're talking today, there are only 3 political parties that have been fully registered. Now you can imagine, from 2022 to date, 2025,
Yes.
we are talking about only 3 political parties that have been fully registered. That tells you how tiresome that process is. You will go with, you start by name search, name reservation. The ORPP will send you back like 100 times for them to approve your name. You've not even started registering a political party.
Yes.
So, and you know, as the young people, majority of us are not economically stable. Majority of us are struggling even to feed ourselves. You understand? So you don't even have this time that you want to waste moving to ORPP in Westlands and coming back, coming back, waiting for emails and coming, because they communicate majorly through emails.
Yes.
And sometimes you can wait for this process. So getting into already existing political parties is an easier route. And since we are the majority, we can get there, then initiate changes from within. We fight from within. And you see, this makes it easy because now when you are fighting within a structure, you are protected also within those parameters of those structures of the political party. Like today, if you are a member of KANU, you can just come up and say, you know, we need an NDC meeting.
Yes.
Because we cannot have a party leader that since I was born, I was growing up, we had a party leader. And we've never seen anywhere them doing an election or NDC election to National Delegate Convention so that they can elect new leadership. So when you start such agitations within the political party, then you can arrive at the changes that we so much desire to have. When we have those changes within the political parties, then it means the changes are going to be carried forward into Parliament and into the executive and even into the judiciary. Because you see, even last year when we were doing the Mandamano, the disadvantage, the most disadvantage, the most setback that we had was we were not having a structured way of engagement. Because you realize we were just mobilizing through the social media platforms and then meeting up in town. We don't even know who belongs to who, where we are coming from and everything. We did not even have a way to account for our members who lost their lives. Actually, we were getting statistics from different organizations. But you see, when you are from within a structure, then we know that today we are living with Mike. We are meeting at such a place. When the activity ends, we need to confirm, is Mike okay? Is Jane okay? We are able to account for everyone that participated. But when we are, formless, we are rudderless, we are leaderless, we are tribeless.
The only problem with that would be, you see, this was purely a socio-political movement.
Yes.
It was brought up because of there's so many things, there's so many issues that are in the leadership of Kenya, and especially after 2022. There are so many issues that we have struggled with economically.
Sure.
There's a lot of corruption there. So the whole agitation, the whole activism, the whole movement was born out of those dissatisfactions. So we really didn't need to be into an organized political movement, because the problem with that, and you know very well, in our society, you'll be targeted. They will come for you. They will want to go for the leader. Who is this leader? The Kilonzo is the one who is agitating for this. They will come for you, they will negotiate with you, they will give you money and all that. So this one was purely a movement. So we really have to separate sometimes the movement that have really achieved a lot. When you look at the France movement, there was no need for that. Very recently, you have seen what is happening in Nepal. Nepal, we didn't need to have a particular political party leading the agitation. It is the young people, because we are the sovereign. We are the sovereign. And the sovereign, that alone is an organization.
But even as such, we are talking about those being leaderless, tribeless and everything.
Yes.
Where does that leave the aspect of aspirations? Because within that movement, there are people who have political ambitions.
The aspirations are born inside there.
That's what I'm talking about. You see, we have a lot of young people who are capable of leading or holding leadership positions.
Yeah.
But now when we go the leaderless, the partyless, and all sort of, sweet words, revolutionary words, we are going to miss the point. By the time we get to elections, the young people who are going to aspire are going to get difficulties when now you need clearance with the IBC. Remember, when you are running for a political seat, there are requirements.
Yes.
For example, you will be required to collect a number of signatures. Then the IBC will tell you, we have to verify these signatures. And you and me knows that there is no formality of verifying a signature. We don't have a clear pathway of verifying someone's signature in this country. But it is a requirement of the law, and IBC has to do that. When you take young people through these processes, then you get to agree with me that joining a political party is surely a better way to get more young people elected in 2027. I know there are fears.
My problem with that.
Let Wakili execute his point.
It's okay. I know there are fears of being controlled and everything.
Yes.
But remember, in a democracy, the majority gets their way.
Yes.
You see? Yes. So if we acknowledge that 70% of the registered voters are the young people, then it means we are the majority. So even when we join these political parties and we come together, we can still control the decisions that are being made. We can still influence the decisions that are being made within these political parties. And we can still bring resources together as a young people. You bring 10 pop, I bring 5 pop, the other person brings 5 pop, then we are able to move. But to tell or to encourage young people that, let us just agitate, let us get to 2027, we are not properly prepared to get into these elective, positions and run for them, we're going to lose the point. We will come here in 2028 and we'll still be lamenting. Are you getting the point? Because look at even people, our peers like Babu Owino, like Kiborek, who are now serving in parliament. Kiborek is fairly a very young man. Babu Owino is fairly a very young man. Amisi, Sefuna. Yes, they're very good leaders. They're very good young leaders, and a lot of people look up to them. But they also realized that it is not easy to get elected without a political party.
In fact, you need to ask Sifuna to get out of ODM because
it's okay. That is a conversation that we will. But what I'm saying, a lot of young people are really looking at us, and they're watching. It is very difficult. I will give you a scenario. If we go to election today here in Nairobi, the position of governor, the president, the women rep, the senator, the MP, and the MCA. Do you know? What is going to play out is that we are going to have ODM, for example, then versus ODA, then versus Jubilee. When the disadvantage of being an independent candidate is that, for example, if there's a rally in the CBD, when Raila Odinga is coming there to campaign for his votes as a presidential candidate, he's going to campaign for the senator there. He's going to campaign senator for ODM. He's going to campaign for women for ODM there. So he's going to campaign for MP for ODM there. And even the MCA who is running in that particular ward. The same is going to apply for Huda. The same is going to apply for even DCP. And the same is going to apply for even Jubilee. But now tell me, who is going to campaign for this independent person?
Yes. So this is what I'm saying. For me, I want to speak to those of us who went for the first Mandamano, Gen Z protest of 2024, 25th June. I want to speak to us, those who went also to the second Mandamano of June 2025. Because revolutions and movements, they are very neutral. They are not so much attached to the ODMs of Kenya, to the UDA of Kenya and all that, because that is exactly what we are fighting against. Because the moment you get into those structures, which are not bad, Remember, movements are, they metamorphosize from one phase to another phase to another phase. And I was saying that leaders, the ones that you're looking for, are born from these movements. For example, Kasimwai. For example, maybe Morala. Those people are born from these movements. For example, me, let me even go far, and yourself here, are born from those movements. But again, before we lose it going so much into the political parties, we have to sit down and ask ourselves, what are the issues in education that we are going for on the streets? You look at an issue in our country, all sectors, those are the things that we really went to parliament, because the parliament that time we realized was the weak link between us and the executive. So we want a representation in the parliament. We elect leaders to go there so that they can pass bills that are pro-people. But we realized these guys are just in bed with the executive. They are not doing the things that we sent them to do in the parliament. So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to come and join them in their political parties to continue oppressing us? What is the role of activism? What is the role of this agitation? It is to ensure that we get services. When we go to hospital and we are being charged for SHA, is SHA working? And if it is not working, why is it not working? And we are being charged for the same. When that girl goes to class and they need education, they need services, and capitation money has not been released to school, those are the reasons that took us to the streets. And by the way, we might be coming back again because we have to get it right. We have to get those things working for us, because we do not have another country, Mike.
Okay.
We have Kenya as our country.
Is that the only way forward? And I'll couple that with it. Is going to the street the only way forward? But then again, there is an aspect of online activism.
Yes.
Does it really make an impact in matters to do with governance and accountability, or is just remain what you would call, quote unquote, online noise? Okay,
that online noise, you add the streets. And again, I will take you back to what I said. It is a process. It is a metamorphosis of events from one phase to another phase to another phase to another phase. And I said, we are going to birth leaders from these movements. Those who want to join political parties, I would really encourage them maybe to form their own political parties. And should you join ODM, should you join UDA, go there and also agitate for change within those structures. Because it's also a good way to be, in structures. But again, our young people, I want to really, commend them and congratulate all the young people and anyone who participated into this clarion call of 2025 last year, 2024, and this year, because it has really disturbed, it has really, sent a very strong message to the political class of this country. Things are not the same again. The political terrain of this country changed with those two agitations, the one to 2025 and also the Sabasaba. They have really changed. It is not going to be online noise, never. It is every time we are talking on social media, every time we are on TikTok, every time we are holding a space, it is not going to be matters the same. They will listen to us there, they will do something.
If let's say, granted,
yes,
still on you, the youth get into these leadership positions, what do you think they would do different?
Okay, like you were saying, Wakili was saying, we also have some youth leaders there. I will give you practical examples. And I will mention names, if that is allowed. For example, Sifuna. Sifuna has been the ODM. And for a very long time, we have believed in ODM. But at a point, when they joined the other side, there was an issue with the public that you guys, you have been pro-people, but now you are joining on this side for the sake of peace. Good. But again, someone like Sifuna, who has been speaking his mind, what if all of us get into those structures and like Sifuna, like Babu Wino, like all these other young people, and get into those spaces and speak our mind? Because at the end of the day, those structures must work for us. Those structures must work to bring service to the people. So for me, once we get into those spaces, because yes, we can get into those spaces, we can also bring change. But also, agitation from the streets, it is provided for in the Constitution. There is a robust framework for all of us to freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and all those things. So it's a combination, it's a mix, it's a blend of all these things. Getting to the structures, getting to the streets, the digital activism, all those things for better Kenya.
Wakili, we're talking about this activism. We have seen it within the country from 1992 to date. But why do you think in most cases activism is somehow met with resistance, whether it's in political parties or in the whole aspect of our government?
You see, those who are in authority, traditionally, they always want to maintain the status quo. And, you know, activism is a practice of taking action. You want to see action being done. And therefore, those who want to maintain the status quo would always want to, you know, resist those who want to take action to be done.
Yes.
But, like my brother is saying, one, the likes of Sifuna, they're talking, but they're talking their minds, but within a political party structure. Look at activism for since 1980-something, when the likes of J.B. Orengo were doing activism.
Yes.
They still joined, they still made some formations of some political parties. Because, let me tell you something, even the other day when we had demonstrations against the finance bill, then there was need for dialogue, for people to come and talk. Do you know why that did not take place? Because we did not have a structure. There was no structure in which we would be engaged by those who are in authority. So it is always important to realize, to remember that as much as we want to agitate from the streets, there's also need to have a structure where we can be engaged constructively. Look at how we lost somebody like, the street lost somebody like Makure into now the ODM. And immediately he got into ODM, he was taken to some, to US for some study for 3 months, which is a plus. He's achieved something, he's gained something.
Yes.
That now he can practically come back here and, you know, engage the youth constructively going into the future. What I'm saying is, yes, we want to agitate and we want to bring change. But how are we going to actualize this dream as a young people? We have the ideas, we have the energy, we have the strength, and our unity is our strength. But we need to be on these tables, in these rooms where the decisions are made, where policies are drafted, where policies are passed. And the only way to get ourselves into these spaces is through structured organizations. You are either into the NGOs,
yes,
which you see, or you are within the political party structures. Then we make plans on how we can get ourselves elected into the position of leadership come 2027.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let's take a very short break. We'll be back to continue with this conversation. This is Entertainment Thursday. Stay with us. Yes. The conversation continues even off camera. We're talking about youth and governance, activism, aspirations and accountability. Before we went on a break, Wakili, you were executing a point on why activism is often not met with open hands. We may continue on that.
Yeah, I was just saying that, you see, those who are in authority would always want to maintain the status quo, while those who are on the street would always want to see things done better. So, obviously, these are two opposing sides. There will always be resistance. But now the perseverance, the commitment of those who want change can sometimes lead us into something. Like the last demonstrations that we had that made the president to withdraw the finance bill and also to restructure the cabinet,
yes,
that was a plus, that was a win for the young people. We still have the energy, we still have the strength, we can still push through certain reforms that we want done within the corridors of justice, and also within the legislature, the National Assembly. One thing I really wanted to put across today is that as a young people, we also need to rethink on our criteria that we always use to elect these leaders. Because we are always quick to judge, but we don't take time to reflect on ourselves. Why do I say so? We want to see flamboyance in our campaigns. We want to see somebody come with a lot of money and give handouts, and that is the person we want to elect. But we are forgetting that this person that is giving these handouts, this serious money into the campaign, this person will want to recover this money back. And what will this person do when he gets into parliament? He has to go into bed with the government of the day so that he can cut deals, he can recover his money, his expenditure. Because at the back of his mind or her mind, he knows that the next election will also require another expenditure.
So the whole aspect of representation gets lost.
Yeah, so as much as we want proper representation, we must also change our mentality on the campaign funding and the campaign models and everything that we expect from a politician. Actually, I will dare say, if we can ourselves fund the campaigns, contribute to one of us to go look for that seat and get it, this person will not have any reason to go and steal, to go and form allies with the government of the day, to cut deals in the government, because he knows I did not use my resources to get my way into parliament. My people stood with me, they funded me, they fundraised for me, they supported me, and I came here, so I have to serve them.
Will that Kilonzo bring a people-centered kind of an approach when it comes to governance? And is that possible? People coalescing around a person and funding him?
Yes, it is very possible, and that's why we keep on appreciating all of us for doing the things that we started doing in 2024. We can, rally behind a candidate and we can fundraise, because that is a very good approach into the elections of the day. Look into democracies like America, when during the time of Obama, even during the time of Clinton, even during the very current president, they do mobilization. And, Chapter 6 of the Constitution lays a very good background on how public officers should behave, on how those things should be done. So for me, I would say we are having a very good conversation in this country. We are progressing, by the way, on very well. We continue with this agitation for what kind of country we want. And I will take us back to the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya is a living document that needs legs. Like the words of Yash Guy, is a professor. He said that constitution of any country, of any democracy, is a living document that needs legs and arms. And those legs and arms to actualize the doings, the promises of that constitution are achieved through activism, are achieved through the things that we are doing currently in this country. So we need people in parliament who will go there, whether we sponsor them, whether they are coming through a political party, but we just need them to go there and represent us and just live what the Constitution promises. Because we have a very good Constitution, a very robust Constitution. If we live to the letter and the spirit of the Constitution, we are going to have systems working in this country. We are going to have a beautiful country. We are going to have, a robust, excelling tourism sector. We are going to have, a good executive. We are going to have our children wanting to stay in this country. We will not want every people going back, we want to go to America, we want to go to Europe. We will build our good nation.
When it comes to accountability, Wakili, how do you think young people are positioned to demand accountability from the leaders that they elect?
That is where we as the young people, we feel uncomfortable discussing or maybe touching on it, because we are the problem. I want to run it up that we are the problem, because we expect these politicians to come and give us handouts. We are not asking ourselves that what is the salary of this MP that we expect when he comes to the village. He spends like 2 million, 3 million on handouts. This person is earning roughly around 800 or 1 million shillings per month. Then when you remove those deductions, it comes back to around 600,000 or 700. When you want this person to give you handouts the whole of weekend and contribute to all funerals in the village, and all medical expenses of people who are sick in the entire constituency, and you still expect the same person to utilize the CDF well, then we are lying to ourselves. The responsibility starts with us. We must be able to speak truth to leadership. We are electing you. Your work is legislation, representation, and oversight. If we have a funeral in the village, we are going to contribute as a community. When we have a sick person, we are going to fundraise. When we do this, and if you bring us 100,000 for funeral, we are going to ask you, where are you getting this money?
But
we are
again,
not going to.
But again, that will not happen because of what you're saying. We are the problems.
Yes.
Our moral fabric.
Yeah.
Outside there.
That is actually it's a very interesting conversation.
Our moral fabric outside there.
Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
as citizens, we blame our leaders. But however, is there a time that we call ourselves?
Into a meeting and say, yesterday I called Mheshimiwa and I asked him for 10,000. Where did he get this 10,000? And how is he going to recover this 10,000 that he sent me? Because maybe there are also another 10 to 20 people. He has sent 3,000, 5,000, 4,000. Then it means this person is going to find a way of inflating a tender project of a school so that he can recover his money or her money. So, or he's going to try to appease to the president that president, bring that bill, we will pass it, but you have to give us 1 million each. Why is the president going to get this 1 million each? He's going to take
So
it from
it becomes
you
a
see?
dealership.
Yeah, it becomes a dealership
All of us are
country.
doing deals.
All
Deals
of us
in
are
parliament.
doing
It's a quid pro quo situation.
Yeah. So, if we want accountability, if we want good governance, then the responsibility starts with us.
And you have to appreciate the conversations that are there. Because I know you're in the spaces of, X, you're in the spaces of TikTok, all those spaces.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, we really need to, I think need all of us to understand that we need to appreciate that we are beginning to wake up, to open our eyes. We are beginning to speak truth to the leadership. All these conversations are ongoing because they are good.
Are we gravitating towards politics of issue-based politics?
Yes, exactly. We are gravitating towards there.
You see, the other day I was asking, I was in the village, and my governor comes to a funeral. Then, because there have been a few issues there and here and there, because I come from Omabay, and then you see, people say that a lot of projects have been done in Omabay, but from the national government. Yeah. Now the locals are asking, what is the governor doing? Because these projects that we see are from the national government. What's the governor doing with the development funds? Then the governor comes to a funeral. Then she speaks. Then after the funeral, she gives 200 to every funeral attendee. What we are not, and people are clapping and people are happy. But what we are not asking ourselves, where did the governor get this money from? And why did the governor have to give 200 shillings to each and every person that attended the funeral? What was she trying to do? Because if you're working for the people, you will not have to corrupt their conscience. That is corruption. Dishing out money in a funeral, that is corruption. You are corrupting the minds of these people so that they can continue clapping for you as you steal. And therefore, that is why I'm saying this conversation must start with us. We must first of all have a self-reflection that what do we want? How do we want this country to move forward? The president will come to a church, give 20 million, people will, the church congregants will be clapping. Why is the president getting this 20 million from? Because his salary is 2.5 million. Remove the deductions, is 1 point something. Why is the president going to get 20 million to give to this church, then tomorrow is in another church giving 20 million, tomorrow is in another football club giving 5 million? Then it means we are breeding corruption.
So as a people, there are questions we do not ask ourselves.
Yes.
So we do not really scrutinize ourselves as a citizen.
For me, I would also maybe comment on this, that one thing that was really hidden to us was information, which is also provided for in the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights about, I think, Article 37. Access of information is there. So most of us didn't know what the Constitution says about what. So part of the accountability is what is provided for example, for a board like EACC, the one that is supposed to fight corruption. And if they are not doing their work, what are they supposed to be doing as per the Constitution? So it is a living document, the Constitution is a living document, but again, we must also activate the different parastatals. Accountability starts with us. So it is us now who are reading these issues in the Constitution. This article, it says this and this. For example, I was shocked. The information about who should receive SHA money. You see, the Social Health Authority, there are hospitals that are supposed to receive that kit. After, you know, I go there, I'm treated and all that. So there is funding that goes there. Do you know that information is public? When you go to the website there, you are supposed to access that information. Now, when you access that information, you find that my hospital in Kaponzweni has been receiving this amount of money. For what? We ask those questions, right? Who is supposed to do, maybe if there are issues of corruption, who is supposed to fight them? You find that it is EACC in collaboration with ODPP and DCI. Are they doing that? So the responsibility of asking those questions, it really rests with us.
Yes.
And we are in the era of information. We are in the era of digital literacy. We must go into those spaces, into those offices, because we have the rights to go in that office and request for information. When my CDF is not working, number one, we even need the CDF. The government is a whole different conversation. Because, for example, you find that the local school there is owned by the government. Then the government will, instead of wiring that man direct to the CDF, you have to go through a member of parliament. Why? It is just a caricature of people trying to come together, a cobweb of corruption and all that. So for us to fight, for us to get results from our activism is number one, information. Where is this information? Who is supposed to be doing what? And politicians like that a lot. They don't want you to know what you should know. And we thank Kibaki and his regime because they really helped us to, you know, through free primary education. Most of us are products of Kibaki. We went to school, Gen Zs who are here now watching us, we went to school and we have this information. This information is available. Please make sure you get a copy of the Constitution, the 18 chapters, not from chapter 1 all the way to the shell use, what it is provided for. Information. And we have a lot of wakilis here. We have a lot of constitutional lawyers. A lot of information is there. We are in the era of information. And let me tell you, politicians, it is not going to be the same again.
All right. Let's say, granted,
yes,
the youth gets into those political leadership spaces, wakili. Are we going to introduce new mechanisms of demanding accountability from them, or we continue with whatever we have so far?
If we can, like my brother have said, if we can just follow the Constitution, the 2010 Constitution as it is, we have the best Constitution. You see, I was asking myself the other day, you are driving into the village,
yes,
or you're somewhere, then you see, or even in Nairobi here, yes, within the estates, you see a picture of the governor and the MCA, and then there's a proposed road to be done. Then you ask yourself, why would a governor put his own portrait and an MCA on a road that is being funded by public funds? This is not a donation from the governor. If you want to put your picture on a road, donate that fund. Go and do it for your personal.
In fact, that is corruption.
You say, that is corruption. You are corrupting the minds of the citizen. Yes. This is not your project.
Yes.
My brother, my sister, this is not your project. This is a public project. Funded by the public funds, taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
Why is Otieno not putting his pictures there? Because his funds is being used, taxes are being used to repair that road. So, if we can be honest with our leaders and tell them, you know what, and that is why I always love, you know, as much as the national leadership have not been doing so much, but from time immemorial, you can never see a project being launched by the president and his portrait is there. He will go, it will just be written, was launched by so-and-so. But there will be no portrait. Even a national highway being done, you will never see the portrait of a president. But the governors, the MCs and the MP have this tendency that any project they do in the village, they put their...
You've forgotten when they're giving foodstuffs.
Yes.
The kagunia.
Yeah, the kagunia. Yeah, and is that a government donation?
Yes.
The woman rep, for example, you find the woman rep giving... donations from the GAF fund, and her portrait is there. Then you wonder, what kind of nonsense is this? This is not your money, please. This is public money.
So what mechanism should we put there? If do we need new mechanisms?
I think we just need to be very radical and very honest to these leaders and tell them that, you know what, this is not right, this is right.
In fact, if I can add there, if I can add something there, for me, we don't really need a mechanism. And when we realize that we don't need those other new mechanisms, it is now the birth of this agitation. Because we have a constitution in place. We have a whole chapter of integrity. We have a whole chapter of bills of rights. We have all these parastatals. In fact, there are so many of them. So what we need to activate right now is EACC, do your work. Go for the corrupt governor. Someone, all of a sudden, they have built a 1 billion flat in Nairobi. And they were just governors. All of a sudden, someone has, because of the proceeds of corruption, they have done projects that they could not do. They have not been doing any business throughout their life. But the moment they get into the business of representation, because it is that business of representation, they have become billionaires. In fact, for Kenya, it has been long been said that if you want to become a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, a multi-dollar, whatever, get into the politics of Kenya, you get rich. Now, it is from those things that this anger has been born in the public. This anger of, we need a fair representation there. When you get into that as an MP, as a governor, as whatever, make sure now you represent us well. So for me, it's all about the Constitution. Can we just implement the Constitution?
We have to be intentional.
The spirit, the letter of the Constitution. Go to DCI. DCI, do your work. Simple as that. Do not take sides. Do not work for the president. Work for the sovereignty. Work for the sovereign. It is me and it is you.
Looking forward, Wakili, you spoke about the bottlenecks, about forming political parties, especially a new political parties. What other areas do you think needs to be looked at and addressed to ensure that youths getting within the political parties or political systems do not really find it hard? What are the bottlenecks that needs to be addressed?
I think going into 2027, it will not be practical because you see, even going to change the legislation processes of the ORPP, those rules that are there, you cannot change them within these timelines. So I just think that we just need to be honest with ourselves. We just need to be bold enough to speak out because I will tell you, there are a lot that needs to be done. You see, for example, even our courts. The other day, as much as Shah had a lot of fraud, but one thing that I give credit to whoever is in the Ministry of Health is making those documents public. That was one way of enhancing accountability. See, if they withheld those documents, we could not be able to poke holes and see the fraud that was happening. So making the shared documents public, that was a step in the right direction. Today, governors have moved to court to challenge the EGP procurement process. That tells you how the governors are trying to fight back. The corruption is fighting back because they know that with the EGP, if you are tendering a pen at 100,000, like the other governor, the other time bought a wheelbarrow at 100,000, and the other lady, the current governor for Kirinyaga, also bought some pens here at NOS at 100,000. You see, if you have that EGP procurement, the public will be able to see who tendered for how many people put bids for those tenders. Now, what was the quotation for each contractor or which supplier? And why did you award the person who quoted 20 shillings and left the person who quoted 10 shillings? You get that? But governors don't want this. MPs don't want this. Pastors don't want this. Because the public are going to be
question.
Able to see. It is going to enhance accountability.
That this is what is happening. The procurement is happening. These are the people who quoted, gave out their quotes. Who was awarded? This person. Why was he awarded? The questions are going to come. They are not going to be able to inflate tenders. That is why they are moved. And that is why I'm saying, as a young people, we also need to call out our courts. Because our courts have also let us down. The other day I was seeing a clip of a former general, I think from central Kenya, saying that his 60,000 acres of land was sold, coffee farm was sold by bank to some Asians at a cost of 70 million shillings. Then in 3 months' time, the Asian guy sold the plot at 3.5 billion. So you ask yourself, in 3 months' time, a property that is sold at 70 million, then somebody is now selling it.
It's just a lie.
Yeah. You see, it's, and it's trying to tell you how the judges were bribed from the lower court up to the apex court. So, as much as we are calling accountability on our leaders, we also need to call out these judicial officers who are also corrupt, who are also frustrating certain positive moves that are being brought into place. Because EGP procurement, that is the best thing. Let us everything be public.
Okay.
Let us be able to see how the government is being run. Yes. And lastly, on the issue of our debts, we also need to come out and speak about it, because we're not going to allow these old guys to live as an economy where we're going to be struggling to pay this, to repay debts that we never even...
We are already struggling.
Yeah, we are already struggling. So we need to talk to the government, to talk to people in authority. We need to demand that you please stop borrowing.
Okay.
Because you are borrowing and we are not seeing the impact of the borrowed funds. Yes.
All right. Tukimalizia, the way forward.
The way forward, we have a beautiful country, and we can make Kenya better. The way we are going to make Kenya better is to continue on the things that we are doing, the agitation that we are doing through Parliament. By 2027, we have another opportunity to have a different representation in the Parliament. We just need to elect good people with integrity, people who are going to represent issue-based politics, the issues of education, the issues of health, the issues of our social setup here in Kenya. So we have a good country. Let us support our leaders. Let us support the building of a beautiful Kenya, the Kenya that we want. But again, let us implement the spirit and the letter of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Yes.
Is there hope?
There is hope. We can never lose hope. If we lose hope, we are finished. We can never lose hope for Kenya.
Yes.
Our motherland is Kenya.
Yes.
We are the sovereign, and we can have a beautiful Kenya.
Indeed.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you so much for coming to talk about these issues. And it's always a pleasure to talk about matters that affect our nation, Kenya. That is Wakili Jacob Omondi, who is a lawyer and also a political strategist, and also Kilonzo Mbuvi, a governance expert and also a political commentator, joining us here on Good Morning Kenya, on Future Voices segment, where we give the youth a chance to contribute to matters of national interest. This conversation ends there. Now it's time for Entertainment Thursday with Vivian Ndegwa. My name is Mark Miwe. Thank you for tuning in. Stay with us.